This is an audiobook, From Thought to Finish, The Untold Power of Following Through by the Prestige Mind Collections. Introduction. Every great achievement in history started with a single thought, a seed planted in the fertile ground of someone's mind, an idea, a vision, a dream. And yet, countless brilliant ideas never blossom. Millions of thoughts remain just that, thoughts. The world is bursting with potential, innovation, and opportunity. But the true difference between those who change their lives and those who merely imagine change is the power to follow through. The ability to take the spark of inspiration and carry it, step by deliberate step, across the vast distance between desire and reality is crucial. Today, we live in an age flooded with information and distraction. The average human attention span is shorter than ever, and the temptation to jump from one idea to the next is relentless. We chase the next big thing, the next hack, the next viral moment, but so often we are left with incomplete projects, unfulfilled promises, and dreams deferred. This audiobook was born from the urgent need to reclaim the ancient, timeless art of finishing, to shift our focus from starting, which so many are willing to do, to completing, which so few dare to master. Desire alone is not enough. Persistence, the relentless daily choice to keep going, remains one of the greatest challenges any person faces. Modern neuroscience teaches us that our brain's wiring can change in response to new thoughts and behaviors. This means your current reality is shaped by your habits, the repeated patterns of thought and action you perform daily. To transform your life, you must not only conceive new ideas, but also embody the actions that create new neural pathways and behaviors. Simply wishing for change will not rewire your brain. Only consistent, deliberate action can. This audiobook will serve as your guide through that transformative journey. You will discover why so many promising ideas falter, often not because of lack of talent, opportunity, or intelligence, but because of hesitation, distraction, and the inability to follow through. You'll learn how to overcome the mental blocks and emotional resistance that keep you stuck in planning mode or waiting for the right moment. More importantly, you will be equipped with practical tools and mindset shifts to build unstoppable momentum, moving you steadily from thought to finish. The path from inspiration to completion is rarely glamorous. It's marked by quiet struggles, incremental progress, and moments when giving up seems easier than continuing. Yet every story of triumph, whether in business, health, relationships, or personal growth, is a testament to the power of discipline, resilience, and relentless follow-through. This is the secret the greatest achievers share. They do not wait for motivation to strike. They build habits that carry them forward, even on their worst days. They understand that success is a process, not an event. So why does this matter to you right now? Because the difference between where you are today and where you want to be lies in your ability to finish what you start. Every unfinished project, every delayed dream, and every abandoned goal represent lost time, lost energy, and lost potential. Furthermore, it undermines your self-confidence and self-belief. Through the power of consistent action, this audiobook will assist you in gradually rebuilding that belief. Throughout this journey, you will be invited to look deeply within yourself and answer honest questions. What ideas have I been afraid to act on? What dreams have I quietly set aside? What fears have held me hostage, disguised as logic and reason? You will be encouraged to take micro actions that ripple out into massive change, to embrace imperfection, discomfort, and even failure as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Because transformation is not about flawless beginnings or smooth paths. It's about persistence, the courage to continue even when progress feels invisible. By the time you reach the last chapter, you will have a blueprint to follow through on your most important goals. You will understand that finishing is an identity, a mindset that you can develop just like any skill, and you will know that within you lies the power to rewrite your story from "I thought about it" to "I did it." This is your moment. This is your chance to bridge the gap between your aspirations and your actual accomplishments. This is your chance to fully utilize your unexplored potential, to become the finisher you were always meant to be. Let us begin this powerful journey together. This journey will take us from a mere thought to the completion of the task. Welcome. Chapter 1. The loud silence of an unfinished idea. You'll never know what could have been unless you begin. Every one of us has faced that moment, that quiet, electric flash of inspiration when an idea blooms inside the mind. It may have been a new project, a passion you longed to pursue, or a life change you deeply desired. For a heartbeat, it feels like the universe has handed you a key, a door opening into a new possibility. You see a future self, healthier, more fulfilled, more successful, more at peace. You imagine the steps, the excitement, and the pride you will feel when you finally get there. And then, nothing. That brilliant idea slowly slips into the background. Life happens. Doubts creep in. Other priorities push it aside. Days turn to weeks, weeks to months, and your idea remains silent, unfinished, a whisper lost amid the noise. This is the loud silence of an unfinished idea. It is a paradox. Its absence is so loud, its quietness so persistent, that it becomes impossible to ignore. Why does this happen? Our brains are wired primarily for survival, not for dreams. From the dawn of time, the brain's job was to keep us safe, to avoid risk, avoid pain, and avoid failure. Launching something new, stepping into the unknown, makes the brain nervous. It sees risk and danger lurking behind every "what if." What if I fail? What if I embarrass myself? What if I waste my time? So the brain slows you down. It fills your head with reasons to wait, to prepare, to avoid action. You become an expert at planning, researching, and dreaming. But not doing. The problem is that planning feels productive. It gives you a dopamine hit, a sense of progress, without the discomfort of real work. But it's a trap. Because no amount of thinking will change your reality without action. The loud silence grows heavier with every day you delay. It shows up as anxiety when you see others succeed. It sits in your gut as regret when you realize how much time has passed. It haunts your thoughts late at night when the world is quiet and your mind is loud. But here's a truth often overlooked. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are not destined to fail. You are human, and humans are hardwired to avoid discomfort. Discomfort is the gateway to growth, to change, success, and transformation. You must learn to push through discomfort with discipline. Discipline is the muscle that grows when you do the uncomfortable things, the things you don't want to do day after day. It is the secret weapon of those who finish what they start. Consider this. What if the loud silence is not your enemy, but your signal? a signal that something important is waiting for your courage? What if that discomfort in your gut is a call to action disguised as fear? The moment you learn to lean into that feeling, to take one brave step despite it, your entire life can change. This chapter will guide you through understanding the psychology behind unfinished ideas and provide you with tools to silence that loud silence once and for all. You will learn how your brain's natural wiring can both help and hinder your progress, why perfect conditions don't exist, and why waiting is a dangerous illusion, how to cultivate the discipline that breaks procrastination's grip. Real stories of people who transformed ideas into reality through persistence. Practical exercises to train your mind to take action despite fear. Your mind's autopilot is designed to protect you, not to propel you forward. To create change, you must become the pilot. You must consciously override the voice that says, wait, or maybe later. You must decide today to take that first step, no matter how small. Because the first step is the bridge between thought and finish. Real life story, the writer's whisper. Meet Sarah. Sarah always dreamed of writing a book. She had outlines, chapter summaries, and character sketches, a world alive in her imagination. But every time she sat down, the blank page stared back. Fear whispered, "What if it's not good enough?" So she planned instead, bought courses, joined writers' groups, and dreamed of the day she'd finally start. Years passed. Then one morning, she wrote just 100 words. The next day, 200. Soon, she was writing daily, imperfection and all. Months later, she finished her manuscript. Sarah's loud silence was broken by discipline and action. Understanding your own loud silence is the first step to silencing it. Recognize that hesitation is natural, but not permanent. Feel the fear, acknowledge it, then move anyway. Small, consistent steps are the antidote to stagnation. The myth of perfect conditions. We often wait for the right time. We often wait for a moment of perfect alignment, when life slows down, when we have more energy or resources. But the truth? There will never be a perfect time. Life is messy, unpredictable, and full of challenges. Waiting for perfection is a surefire way to stay stuck. Instead, commit to starting where you are, with what you have. The power of decision is the engine of change. Every finished project began with a single decision. I will try. I will begin. And then, I will keep going. Your mind craves certainty. Decision provides it. Make your decision today, and the loud silence will begin to fade. Practical exercise. Your first step. Currently, think of the idea you've been holding back. What is one tiny action you can take within the next 24 hours? No matter how small, send an email, write one paragraph, or make a phone call. Write it down, commit to it, then do it. Feel the power of crossing from thought into action and why it often becomes a trap that prevents real progress. Building mental toughness. The heart of following through the journey from thought to finish requires more than fleeting enthusiasm. It demands a kind of grit often misunderstood: mental toughness. Mental toughness is not about brute willpower or stubbornness. It is the capacity to persevere when the initial excitement wanes, when distractions beckon, and when doubts overpower encouragement. Think of it like training a muscle. You don't become strong overnight. You build strength one repetition, one small effort at a time. But what if you don't feel tough? What if you feel inclined to give up before you even begin? That feeling is natural. Every person who has ever achieved something meaningful has felt it too. The difference is, they learnt to embrace discomfort and push through. Neuroscience shows that your brain can rewire itself through repetition. This is called neuroplasticity. When you repeatedly choose action over avoidance, your brain strengthens the pathways that support discipline and resilience. This process means that mental toughness can be cultivated. The neuroscience of action. Rewiring for success. Your brain is constantly adapting. Every thought, every action changes its wiring. However, your brain clings to familiar habits even when they no longer serve you. When you start a new project or goal, you create new neural pathways. At first, these pathways are weak and unfamiliar, like a path through thick forest. But each time you take action, the path becomes clearer and easier to traverse. If you stop, the path gets overgrown, and your brain defaults back to old routines. The good news? You can grow new pathways anytime. The key is consistent, repeated action. One small choice today leads to another tomorrow, and soon, a new habit is born. Breaking procrastination's grip. Procrastination is a symptom of a deeper struggle, fear, and discomfort. To break free, you must learn to recognize and face those feelings without letting them stop you. Start by noticing your triggers. What thoughts make you delay? What emotions arise when you think about starting? Awareness is power. When you feel resistance, instead of pushing it away, acknowledge it. Say to yourself, I feel anxious, but I will act anyway. Consider employing techniques such as the 5-second rule, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and proceed without delay. This interrupts the brain's autopilot and helps you start. Real-life example. The entrepreneur's journey. Consider Maya, who dreamed of launching her brand. She was terrified of failure, but committed to daily progress. Every morning, she worked for 30 minutes on her business, no matter how she felt. Some days were easy, others painfully hard. 2 years later, Maya's brand was thriving. Her secret? She didn't wait for perfect motivation. She built mental toughness through consistent action. Reflection. Exercise your mental toughness score. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your current mental toughness? What habits support your discipline? What habits undermine it? Identify one small habit you can build to strengthen your mental toughness, starting today. The role of environment in following through. Your environment shapes your behavior more than you might realize. It can either fuel your progress or feed your distractions. Look around. Does your workspace inspire focus? Do your relationships encourage growth? Are your daily routines aligned with your goals? Sometimes, silencing the loud silence means changing what surrounds you. Declutter your space, limit distractions, and seek people who uplift and challenge you. The importance of accountability. Accountability is a powerful motivator. When you share your goals with others or commit publicly, you increase your chances of following through. Find an accountability partner, join a group, or use apps that track your progress. Having someone or something to answer to transforms vague intentions into concrete commitments. Harnessing the power of micro-actions. Big goals can be overwhelming. Breaking them into tiny, manageable actions builds momentum and confidence. Each small success is a building block. Celebrate micro-wins. They add up faster than you think. Mindset shift. Embrace imperfection. Waiting for perfect conditions or flawless plans often leads to stagnation. Progress, not perfection, should be your aim. Give yourself permission to be imperfect. Learn as you go. adjust, and adapt. Growth happens in the messy middle. Overcoming fear and resistance. Fear is a natural emotion that signals the brain to be cautious. However, when fear dominates your thoughts, it becomes a barrier to action. Recognize the difference between healthy caution and paralyzing fear. Healthy caution helps you prepare. Paralyzing fear keeps you stuck. When you feel resistance, pause and ask, what's the worst that can happen? Often the answer is less terrifying than your imagination makes it. Accept the discomfort and proceed. Fear loses power when you face it head-on. The role of visualization. Visualization is a powerful mental tool. By imagining yourself completing your goal, you prepare your brain to succeed. Spend a few minutes daily visualizing the process and outcome. Picture the steps, the challenges, and the feelings of accomplishment. Visualization aligns your subconscious with your conscious goals. It creates neural pathways similar to actual practice. The science of habit formation. Habits shape 40% of our daily behaviors. Creating new habits requires repetition and reward. Focus on building habits that support your finishing mindset. Start small and build gradually. Use cues and triggers to remind yourself. Reward progress, no matter how minor. Practical exercise, habit stacking, and identify an existing habit you have daily. Attach a new positive habit immediately before or after it. For example, after brushing your teeth, write one sentence for your project. This method leverages established routines to create new ones. The power of positive self-talk. Your internal dialogue shapes your belief system. Replace negative, limiting thoughts with empowering affirmations. Instead of, "I can't do this," say, "I am capable and growing every day." Practice this daily, especially during moments of doubt. Positive self-talk rewires your brain for success. Story of transformation. John struggled with procrastination for years. He felt overwhelmed by his ambitions. One day, he committed to working 10 minutes daily on his passion. Gradually, his efforts grew. Within a year, John completed his project and changed his life. His secret was persistence, not perfection. Managing expectations. Set realistic goals. Avoid the trap of all or nothing thinking. Progress is rarely linear. Celebrate small wins. Learn from setbacks. Each step forward counts. Time management and focus. Allocate specific times for your tasks. Eliminate distractions during these periods. Use techniques like the Pomodoro method. Focused effort produces better results than multitasking. Reflection. Exercise your why. Write down why your goal matters. Connect emotionally to this purpose. Return to it often for motivation. A strong why fuels perseverance. Building a support system. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth. Seek mentors, friends, or communities aligned with your vision. Support reduces isolation and builds accountability. Rest and recovery. Recognize the importance of rest. Avoid burnout by scheduling breaks. Rest rejuvenates motivation and creativity. Dealing with setbacks. Setbacks are inevitable. View them as learning opportunities. Analyze what went wrong. Please consider refining your approach and progressing onwards. Mindfulness and presence. Practice mindfulness to stay focused. Be present with your tasks. Mindfulness reduces anxiety and improves performance. Journaling for growth. Keep a journal of your progress. Record challenges and victories. Reflecting deepens self-awareness and commitment. The role of passion. Passion fuels energy and dedication. Connect deeply with your purpose. Let passion drive your daily actions. Final encouragement. The loud silence will fade as you act. Your future self is waiting. Start today. Take it one step at a time. You have what it takes. Consistency. The ultimate game changer. Consistency is the steady heartbeat of achievement. It is not about heroic bursts of effort, but about showing up day after day. Small actions, repeated, compound into extraordinary results. Consider how dripping water gradually shapes stone over time. Your consistent efforts carve the path from thought to finish. The role of discipline versus motivation. Motivation is fickle. It comes and goes like the weather. Discipline, however, is a choice you make regardless of how you feel. It is the commitment to act even when motivation is absent. Discipline builds habits. Habits shape your identity. Strategies to build discipline. Set clear, achievable goals. Break tasks into manageable chunks. Use reminders and alarms. Reward yourself for milestones. Forgive slip-ups and recommit. Building discipline is a journey, not a sprint. Mindset shift. From I can't to I will. Your thoughts shape your reality. Replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. When self-doubt arises, respond with resolve. Say, I will take the next step, even if you don't feel ready. Progress starts with a decision. Real-world example. The athlete's discipline. Consider an athlete training for a marathon. Some days are easy, others are grueling. The key is consistency, not perfection. Step by step, run by run, the athlete moves closer to the goal. Your journey is no different. Handling distractions. Distractions are the enemy of follow-through. Identify your biggest distractions. Create an environment that minimizes them. Use tools like app blockers or scheduled work times. Train your focus muscle daily. The importance of restoring energy. Energy fuels productivity. Prioritize sleep, nutrition, and exercise. When energy dips, productivity suffers. Taking care of your body supports your discipline. The feedback loop of success. Success breeds confidence. Confidence fuels more success. Celebrate each completion. Use success as motivation to continue, creating visual reminders. Visual cues keep goals top of mind. Use vision boards, sticky notes, or digital reminders. Seeing your goals regularly strengthens commitment. Accountability. Partners. Find someone to hold you accountable. Share your goals and progress. Accountability increases follow-through dramatically. Learning from failure. Failure is a teacher, not a verdict. Analyze what went wrong. Adjust your plan. Keep moving forward. Cultivating patience. Results often take time. Avoid chasing instant gratification. Trust the process. Patience sustains long-term progress. Reflection. Your progress journal. Track daily actions. Note challenges and successes. Review weekly to identify patterns. The role of gratitude. Gratitude shifts focus from lack to abundance. Celebrate what you've accomplished. Gratitude fuels positive momentum. Final words on persistence. Persistence outlasts talent and luck. Keep going. Even when it's hard, your future depends on it. Overcoming perfectionism. Perfectionism often disguises itself as a desire for excellence, but too often it becomes a roadblock. The need to make everything flawless before starting or finishing can paralyze you. Remember, done is better than perfect. Imperfection is part of progress. Release the need for flawlessness, and you open the door to action. The messy middle. Most projects die in the messy middle. The beginning is exciting and the end is rewarding. But the middle is uncomfortable. It's where motivation wanes and challenges appear. Recognize this phase as natural and necessary. Build routines and discipline to push through it. Using time blocks. Divide your day into dedicated time blocks for focused work. Remove distractions during these periods. Use timers and breaks to maintain energy. Time blocking helps create structure and predictability. The role of celebrations. Celebrate milestones, no matter how small. Recognition reinforces progress. It fuels motivation and joy. Reward yourself thoughtfully. The power of no. Learning to say no protects your time and energy. Prioritize your goals. Decline distractions and obligations that don't serve your purpose. Saying no is an act of self-respect. Managing stress and anxiety. Stress can derail progress. Practice breathing exercises, meditation, or physical activity to reduce anxiety. Manage stress proactively to maintain focus and clarity. Visualization continued. Keep your vision vivid and compelling. Use detailed imagery to remind yourself why you started. Visualization keeps you connected to your purpose. Learning to adapt. Flexibility is key. Plans change and obstacles arise. Adapt and pivot without losing sight of your goal. Building momentum. Momentum makes action easier. Start small. Build gradually. Use early wins to propel you forward. Seeking inspiration. Draw inspiration from books, podcasts, or mentors. Fuel your passion with stories of those who have succeeded. Stay curious and open. Self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Mistakes are learning opportunities. Avoid harsh self-criticism. Practice forgiveness and encouragement. The importance of routine. Daily routines create consistency. Structure your day to support your goals. Habitual action reduces decision fatigue. Reflection. Exercise your commitment statement. Write a statement committing to finish what you start. Refer to it daily. Let it ground you in moments of doubt. The loud silence of an unfinished idea is a challenge and an opportunity. It invites you to confront your fears, your doubts, and your habits. It calls you to discipline, persistence, and courage. When you answer that call, you step into a new identity, that of a finisher. The journey is not easy, but it is worth every step. From thought to finish, your transformation begins now. Chapter 2. Thought alone changes nothing. Inspiration without execution is just daydreaming. This simple phrase carries a profound truth, one that separates dreamers from achievers, thinkers from doers. In today's world, ideas are everywhere, in books, podcasts, viral videos, workshops, and endless streams of social media content. We are encouraged to think big, imagine boldly, and set ambitious goals. But here's the catch. Thinking alone does not transform lives. No matter how brilliant or groundbreaking an idea is, it remains inert unless it is acted upon. Thoughts are seeds of potential, but action is the water and sunlight that make those seeds grow. Without consistent action, ideas wither and die, never reaching their full bloom. The allure and danger of thinking. Thinking feels productive. When you plan, research, and strategize, it triggers a sense of accomplishment. You're preparing to move forward, gathering tools and insights that will one day build your dream. Yet, this preparation can become a comfort zone, a safe place to stay busy without taking risks. It's easy to confuse activity with progress. Reading one more book or watching another tutorial feels like moving closer to your goal. But in reality, these are distractions if not paired with action. This cycle of constant planning without doing is what I call idea addiction. You become addicted to generating new concepts, chasing the next exciting possibility, but never committing to any. The trap of perpetual preparation. Perpetual preparation is a subtle form of procrastination. You tell yourself that you'll start once you have the perfect plan, more information, or the right tools. But the truth is, there is no perfect starting point. Waiting for all the stars to align leads to endless delay. A tale of two dreamers. Let me tell you about two dreamers with the same goal: to write a book. The first dreamer spent months, even years, gathering ideas. She outlined chapters meticulously, researched every detail, and read countless books about writing and publishing. She planned a launch strategy, built a social media presence, and envisioned bestseller lists. But she rarely puts words on paper. Fear of imperfection held her back. The second dreamer wrote every day, not perfectly, but consistently. Some days just a few sentences, other days entire pages. He embraced the messiness of early drafts, learning and improving with each word. A year later, the second dreamer held a finished manuscript in his hands, while the first was still dreaming. The science of doing. Science shows that your brain physically changes when you act. Neurons form new connections, reinforcing behaviors. This process, called neuroplasticity, means that the more you practice a habit, the stronger it becomes. But mental rehearsal alone is not enough to rewire your brain. Real change comes from real action. Every time you move beyond thinking and take a tangible step, you train your brain to support new behaviors. Breaking free from overthinking. Overthinking is the enemy of progress. When you analyze and plan endlessly, your brain becomes stuck in a feedback loop of doubt and fear. You weigh every possible outcome, often imagining worst-case scenarios that paralyze your decision-making. Breaking this cycle requires decisive action, no matter how imperfect. The goal is to interrupt the loop with movement. Practical technique: the 2-minute rule. A simple but powerful method is the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. If it's longer, commit to working on it for just 2 minutes. This lowers the barrier to starting and builds momentum. Often, once you begin, the discomfort fades and productivity flows naturally. Accountability, a catalyst for action. Accountability transforms intentions into actions. When you share your goals with a trusted person or group, you increase your likelihood of follow-through. Regular check-ins, progress reports, or even friendly competition can keep you on track. Accountability provides external motivation that complements your internal drive. Reflection: identifying your roadblocks. Pause for a moment. What are the thoughts, fears, or habits that prevent you from acting? Are you afraid of failure, fearful of judgment, distracted by overwhelm? Write these down honestly. Awareness of your roadblocks is the first step toward overcoming them. Building the habit of action. Action breeds confidence. Confidence breeds more action. Create daily rituals that make taking action automatic. Whether it's writing a paragraph, making a call, or brainstorming ideas, consistent effort builds momentum. Remember, progress compounds over time. Mindset shift from planning to doing. Accept that your plan will evolve. Waiting for a perfect blueprint is a recipe for stagnation. Start imperfectly and adapt as you go. This mindset frees you to take risks and learn quickly. The power of small wins. Every small success is fuel. Celebrate finishing that article, sending that email, or completing that workout. Small wins build confidence and create positive feedback loops. They remind your brain that progress is possible. Overcoming fear of failure. Fear of failure is natural, but often exaggerated. Failure is feedback, not defeat. Each setback teaches you what doesn't work and brings you closer to what does. Embrace failure as a vital part of growth. Visualization to support action. Visualization prepares your mind for success, but focus on visualizing the process, not just the outcome. Imagine overcoming obstacles and persisting through challenges. This mental rehearsal primes your brain for resilience. Time management for doers. Schedule focused time for action. Limit multitasking and minimize distractions. Techniques like the Pomodoro method, working in short, focused bursts, can enhance productivity. The role of passion and purpose. Connect your actions to a deeper why. Passion energizes effort and sustains you during tough times. Purpose grounds your work in meaning beyond the immediate. Dealing with setbacks. Anticipate challenges. Have strategies ready to recover and recommit. Remember, setbacks do not define you. Your response does. Embracing imperfection. Perfectionism stifles progress. Prioritize completion over flawlessness. Learn and improve through doing. Reflection. Exercise. Your next action. What is one small step you can take today to move forward? Commit to it now. Then take that step. The momentum of action. Once you take that first step, a new force awakens. Momentum is the quiet power that makes subsequent actions easier, more natural, and more compelling. It transforms effort from a chore into a habit. The first few steps often feel the hardest, filled with doubt, discomfort, and resistance. But as you persist, your brain begins to expect and prepare for these actions, which reduces friction. Momentum builds energy that propels you forward, even on days when motivation wanes. Case study: building momentum. One day at a time. Take Carlos, a man who wanted to get fit. He wasn't an athlete. He wasn't motivated by intense workouts. So he committed to walking just 5 minutes a day. Some days he walked longer, others just those 5 minutes. Gradually, his body grew stronger, his energy increased, and his walks became runs. Years later, Carlos completed his first half marathon. Momentum began with a tiny action, one step after another. Why start small? Big leaps can be intimidating and overwhelming. Starting small creates manageable goals and reduces resistance. Small actions are less daunting and easier to repeat. They build confidence through consistent success. Small wins remind your brain that progress is possible, overcoming the all-or-nothing mentality. Many people fall into the trap of believing they must do everything perfectly or not at all. This mindset sabotages progress. Action does not need to be perfect to be effective. Progress, not perfection, moves you from thought to finish. Practical strategy: set micro goals. Break larger goals into tiny, achievable steps. For example, instead of write a book, aim for write 200 words today. Celebrate completing each micro goal. This approach keeps you motivated and focused. The role of environment in supporting momentum. Your surroundings influence your ability to build momentum. Create a workspace that invites focus and creativity. Remove distractions that derail your progress. Surround yourself with reminders of your goals and reasons for action. The power of rituals. Rituals signal to your brain that it's time to act. They create consistency and reduce decision fatigue. Examples include starting your day with journaling, setting a timer for focused work, or taking a walk to brainstorm. Develop rituals that anchor your commitment to action. Reflection. What rituals can you create? Identify daily activities that can become cues for your work. Commit to following these rituals consistently for at least a week. Notice how they affect your momentum and mindset. The discipline of showing up. At its core, following through is about showing up, especially when you don't feel like it. Discipline means honoring your commitments regardless of mood or motivation. It builds resilience and trust in yourself. Dealing with resistance. Resistance manifests as procrastination, distraction, or self-doubt. Acknowledge it without judgment. Use techniques like mindfulness or deep breathing to manage it. Then return to action. Learning from feedback. Feedback guides improvement. Seek constructive feedback and use it to refine your approach. View criticism as an opportunity, not a setback. The importance of celebrating progress. Recognize and celebrate your achievements, big or small. Gratitude for progress fuels positive emotions and encourages continuation. Accountability. Partners and communities. Engage with others who share your goals or values. Accountability partnerships increase follow-through. Communities provide support, inspiration, and shared wisdom. Mindset shift. From victim to victor. Shift from seeing obstacles as barriers to viewing them as challenges to overcome. Adopt a growth mindset. Believe in your capacity to learn and improve. The role of patience. Transformation takes time. Impatience leads to frustration and quitting. Practice patience by focusing on the process over immediate results. The science of reward. Reward your efforts to reinforce positive behavior. Choose meaningful rewards that align with your goals. Avoid rewards that undermine your progress. Reflection. Exercise. Track your momentum. Keep a daily log of actions taken toward your goals. Note feelings, obstacles, and successes. Review weekly to reinforce growth and adjust plans. The power of saying yes to yourself. Commit to your own success by prioritizing your goals. Saying yes to yourself means choosing action over hesitation. It means valuing your dreams as worthy of effort. Thought alone changes nothing, but action changes everything. By taking deliberate, consistent steps, you build momentum that carries you forward. Small intentional actions create lasting transformation. The power to finish what you start lies in your hands. Navigating fear of failure is one of the most common barriers between thought and action. It's a primal emotion designed to protect you from harm. But in the context of growth, fear can become a cage. Fear tells you to stay safe, to avoid risk, and to maintain the status quo. Yet every success story is filled with moments of risk and failure overcome. Understanding fear as a natural companion, not an enemy, empowers you to move forward despite it. Reframing failure. Failure is feedback, not defeat. It shows what doesn't work and points the way toward improvement. Each failure is a stepping stone on the path to mastery. Embrace mistakes as lessons and opportunities to grow. The role of curiosity. Curiosity shifts your focus from fear to discovery. Approach challenges with the mindset of an explorer. Ask questions like, what can I learn here? How can I improve? Curiosity fuels resilience and creativity. Creating a culture of action and surround yourself with action-oriented people. Communities that value execution over endless debate inspire you to move. Seek mentors and peers who model follow-through. Overcoming analysis. Paralysis. Overthinking can freeze you in place. When faced with choices, limit yourself to a deadline for decision-making. Trust your intuition and commit. Remember, Imperfect action is beyond perfect inaction. The habit of starting is the hardest part, but once you begin, the rest often flows more easily. Create rituals that cue starting, such as opening your notebook at a set time, turning on your computer and opening your project folder, setting a timer to focus for 10 minutes. These cues reduce friction and make starting automatic. The importance of environment. Your physical and social environment influence your ability to act. Design spaces that encourage focus and minimize distractions. Limit exposure to negativity or cynicism. Build a support system that champions your goals. Technology is a tool, not a trap. Technology offers powerful tools for productivity, but it can also be a source of distraction and procrastination. Use apps and systems to track progress and deadlines. Set boundaries to avoid time sinks like social media. Mindfulness to counteract overwhelm. Feeling overwhelmed often leads to inaction. Mindfulness practices, such as deep breathing and meditation, help ground you. They increase focus and reduce anxiety. Leveraging passion and purpose. Reconnect frequently with your why. Passion for your goal fuels sustained action. Purpose gives your efforts meaning beyond immediate tasks. Daily discipline as a lifestyle. Discipline is not a one-time effort, but a daily commitment. View your goals as part of your identity. Commit to consistent small actions, regardless of mood or circumstance. Visualization for action. Visualization strengthens your brain's readiness to act. Imagine yourself working, overcoming obstacles, and succeeding. This primes your mind to take steps toward your vision. Real-life story. The artist's breakthrough. Emma, an aspiring artist, struggled with self-doubt. She spent years planning but rarely painted. One day, she committed to creating one sketch daily, no matter how small or imperfect. Over time, her skills and confidence grew exponentially. Emma's story shows that starting small and acting daily leads to transformation. Reflection. Your current action level. On a scale of 1 to 10, how often do you translate thought into action? Identify patterns that help or hinder your progress. Plan one adjustment to increase your score by just 1 point. Creating accountability systems. Accountability transforms intentions into reality. Track progress openly. Share goals with trusted partners. Celebrating wins publicly to reinforce commitment. Managing setbacks. Setbacks happen. Plan for recovery. Use setbacks as data, not excuses. Maintain forward momentum. Consistency. Over-intensity. Sustainable progress comes from steady effort, not bursts of energy. Pace yourself for long-term success. Ideas are worthless without execution. Transforming thought into action is the key to lasting success. By understanding your brain, managing fear, and building habits, you create unstoppable momentum. The power lies within you to finish what you start. Embracing imperfection and progress. One of the greatest barriers to action is the desire for perfection. Waiting for perfect conditions, plans, or timing keeps you stuck. Instead, embrace imperfection as part of progress. Every action, even flawed, moves you closer to your goal. Growth happens in the messy middle. The role of self-compassion. Being kind to yourself during this journey is essential. Self-criticism can drain motivation and erode confidence. Practice patience and encouragement. Celebrate effort over outcome. Creating a feedback loop. Track your actions and results regularly. Reflect on what works and what doesn't. Adjust your approach while maintaining forward motion. Leveraging community and support. No one achieves success alone. Engage with communities aligned with your goals. Seek mentorship, share experiences, and draw strength from others. The power of commitment transforms vague desires into actionable priorities. Make a public or personal commitment to your goals. Revisit and renew your commitment often. Final reflection, your action plan. Write down 3 concrete actions you will take this week toward your goal. Schedule them into your calendar. Hold yourself accountable. Thought alone changes nothing. Ideas become powerful only when paired with deliberate, consistent action. By cultivating discipline, managing fear, and embracing imperfection, you build unstoppable momentum. This momentum carries you from inspiration to completion. Remember, the bridge between thought and finish is crossed one step at a time. Your future self awaits the actions you take today. Chapter 3. The starting line is often scarier than the finish. Most people don't fail. They just never begin. Starting? That seemingly simple word carries an immense weight. It is the threshold between the safety of the known and the vast, unpredictable expanse of possibility. Standing at the starting line, many feel a swell of emotions, excitement, hope, and often overwhelming fear. The unknown beckons, whispering promises and threats in equal measure. What lies ahead is a mystery, and with mystery comes discomfort. Why is starting so hard? It is hard because starting means change. Change disrupts the patterns your brain has ingrained over years, sometimes decades. Your brain is wired to prefer predictability and routine. It values survival over success. It favors comfort over challenge. When you stand poised to start something new, your brain's ancient warning system kicks in. It releases stress hormones, heightening your senses, but also priming your body to avoid risk. This physiological response can make the first step feel like scaling a mountain. The emotional landscape of beginning. Emotions run high at the starting line. Excitement battles with anxiety. Hope clashes with doubt. Determination wrestles with fear. Your inner dialogue might sound like this. What if I'm not good enough? What if I fail? What if I embarrass myself? These voices are loud and persistent. They threaten to freeze you in place, convincing you that staying still is safer than moving forward. The paradox of fear and desire. Fear and desire often coexist. You want the change, but fear the risks. You desire success, but dread failure. This paradox creates internal conflict. Recognizing this tension is the first step to mastering it. The neuroscience of starting. When you decide to start, your brain faces a challenge. It must create new neural pathways to support unfamiliar actions. At first, these pathways are weak and easily disrupted by distractions or doubts. With each attempt, these connections strengthen. This rewiring process takes time and patience. Why most people never begin research shows that most people don't fail because they lack talent or resources. They fail to begin because of fear, self-doubt, and overwhelming inertia. They let the what-ifs dominate their thoughts. They wait for perfect conditions that never come. The myth of motivation. Many believe that motivation must come before starting. This is a myth. Motivation is unpredictable and fleeting. Action creates motivation. Starting, even imperfectly, sparks energy that feeds progress. Real-life story. The photographer's first shot. Emily dreamed of becoming a photographer. She hesitated for years, afraid her work wouldn't be good enough. Finally, she took her camera out one morning and snapped a photo of the sunrise. It was far from perfect, but it was a start. That first shot sparked a journey that led to exhibitions, clients, and fulfillment. Small steps, big impact. You don't have to leap into a massive commitment. Start small. Write one sentence. Make one phone call. Spend 5 minutes brainstorming. Small steps build momentum and reduce overwhelm. Practical exercise. The 5-minute start. Commit to working on your project for just 5 minutes. Set a timer. Focus only on starting. Notice how often 5 minutes turns into more. Overcoming the inner critic. Your inner critic thrives at the starting line. It magnifies fears and amplifies doubts. Practice recognizing this voice without judgment. Challenge its validity. Replace it with encouraging self-talk. Visualization, preparing for the start. Visualize yourself taking the first step. Imagine the feelings, actions, and progress. Mental rehearsal prepares your brain to act. The importance of support. Share your intention to start with a trusted person. Accountability and encouragement boost courage. Mindset shift from fear to curiosity. Reframe starting as an adventure of learning. Replace fear with curiosity. Ask, what will I discover? Curiosity lowers resistance and opens you to possibility. The role of routine. Create rituals that start with cues. Example: begin your work session with a deep breath or a specific song. Rituals reduce friction and make beginning easier. Handling setbacks at the start. Expect challenges. They are normal and temporary. Plan how to recover and keep moving. The power of commitment. Make a public or written commitment to start. Commitment increases follow-through. Reflection. Your starting line. What is your next first step? What fears arise? How can you prepare mentally and emotionally? Write your answers. Daily action. The key to progress. Commit to daily action no matter how small. Consistency beats intensity. Final encouragement. The starting line is daunting, but courage is not absence of fear. It's action in spite of fear. Take the first step today. Your journey from thought to finish begins here. The science of habit formation. How starting builds momentum. Starting something new isn't just an emotional hurdle, it's a neurological challenge. Your brain is wired to favor habits because they conserve energy and reduce decision fatigue. When you start a new behavior, your brain must form new pathways, a process called neuroplasticity. At first, these pathways are fragile and can easily be overridden by old habits or distractions. However, each time you successfully take action, you reinforce these pathways, making the new habit stronger and more automatic. Starting consistently is the gateway to habit formation and long-term change. Why we resist starting. The role of the amygdala. Your amygdala, the brain's emotional center, plays a critical role in starting fear. It scans for threats and signals the body to respond with fight, flight, or freeze. When faced with a new challenge, the amygdala often interprets it as a threat, triggering anxiety and avoidance. Understanding this response can help you reframe fear not as a stop sign, but as a natural signal that you're stepping into growth. Practical tip: use the fear as fuel mindset. When you feel fear at the starting line, acknowledge it. Then channel that energy into action. Fear doesn't have to paralyze. It can propel. Many successful people credit their achievements to using fear as motivation. The just start paradox. Paradoxically, starting can feel harder than finishing. Finishing involves momentum, feedback, and visible progress. Starting demands overcoming inertia, fear, and uncertainty. Yet every finish line was once a starting line. Your willingness to begin unlocks the entire journey. Breaking down the first step. Sometimes the first step is overwhelming because it seems too big. Break it into smaller parts. For example, if your goal is to start a blog, you might consider the following steps. Step 1. Choose a topic. Step 2. Research platforms. Step 3. Write an outline. Step 4. Publish the first post. Focusing on one micro step reduces overwhelm and builds confidence. Mindfulness to ease the start. Mindfulness practices help calm the brain's fear response. Techniques like focused breathing, body scans, or meditation reduce anxiety and increase focus. Starting with a calm mind improves clarity and motivation. Real-life story. The student's leap. Anna dreamed of returning to school but was terrified. The idea of balancing study, work, and family seemed impossible. She felt stuck for months. One day, she enrolled in a single online course. That small commitment shifted everything. She gained confidence, found support, and she kept moving forward. Creating a supportive environment. Your environment influences your ability to start. Design your space to reduce distractions. Surround yourself with reminders of your goals. Engage with supportive people who encourage beginnings. Time management for starting. Schedule specific times to work on your new project. Consistency creates routine. Even 15 minutes daily makes a difference. The role of positive reinforcement. Reward yourself for taking the first step. Positive feedback strengthens motivation. Choose meaningful, healthy rewards. Overcoming perfectionism at the start. Perfectionism kills. Release the need for everything to be flawless. Allow yourself to be imperfect. Progress requires action, not perfection. Visualization and affirmations. Visualize yourself starting confidently. Use affirmations like, "I am ready to begin." "Every step brings me closer." "I embrace growth and change." Repetition builds belief. Reflection. Your starting line checklist. What is your specific first step? When will you do it? What might distract or discourage you? How will you overcome obstacles? Write your answers. The power of small wins to build confidence. Each successful start boosts your confidence. Confidence feeds motivation. Motivation fuels more starts. Create this virtuous cycle deliberately. Daily practice. The starting ritual. Develop a daily ritual to signal starting. Example. Make a cup of tea, then open your work folder. Rituals create mental readiness. Commit to begin today. No more waiting. Commit to one action now. Start despite fear, doubt, or uncertainty. You are stronger than your hesitation. Final thought. The starting line may feel like a wall, but it is a door. Step through it. Your journey from thought to finish depends on it. The psychology of resistance. Resistance is a universal force that manifests as hesitation, distraction, procrastination, or self-sabotage. It arises whenever you attempt to do something meaningful that challenges the status quo of your life. Resistance feeds on fear, uncertainty, and the discomfort of change. Recognizing resistance is crucial. It is not a sign of weakness, but an indication that you're on the edge of growth. The key is learning to act despite resistance. Techniques to push through resistance. Break large tasks into smaller, manageable pieces. Focus on one chunk at a time to reduce overwhelm. Time blocking. Dedicate specific time windows for focused work. Protect this time fiercely. Accountability. Share your goals with others. Regular check-ins create external pressure to act. Reward systems. Set up rewards for milestones. Positive reinforcement fuels continued effort. Visualization. Imagine overcoming obstacles and succeeding. This mental rehearsal builds confidence. Embracing the imperfect start. Perfectionism is often resistance in disguise. Waiting to start until you have the perfect plan or skill level is a recipe for delay. Allow yourself to begin imperfectly. Every expert was once a beginner. Mistakes are part of learning and growth. The role of self-talk. Your internal dialogue shapes your reality. Negative self-talk can amplify fear and resistance. Practice positive affirmations and compassionate self-talk. Replace "I can't" with "I will try." Real-life story, the composer's first note. David was a talented musician, but terrified of composing. He feared his work wouldn't measure up. One day, he committed to writing just one note. From that tiny beginning, a symphony emerged. David's courage to start unlocked his creative potential. Mindset shift. Focus on action, not outcome. Focusing on the outcome can create pressure and fear. Instead, focus on the process and daily actions. Celebrate the effort, not just the results. The importance of forgiveness. You will stumble. You will falter. Forgive yourself quickly and recommit. Self-compassion sustains long-term progress. Using the power of now. The present moment is the only time you truly control. Delaying action to later perpetuates stagnation. Commit to starting now. Reflection. What would you do if you weren't afraid? Imagine the freedom of acting without fear. What would your first step be? Write this down and keep it visible. Building confidence through repetition. Confidence grows as you prove to yourself you can start. Repeated action diminishes fear. Make starting a habit. Setting clear intentions. Before starting, clarify your intentions. Why is this important? What do you hope to achieve? Clear intentions focus your mind and energy. The role of energy management. Your physical and emotional energy influence your ability to start. Prioritize sleep, nutrition, and movement. Manage stress to maintain motivation. Creating a supportive network. Connect with others who encourage and inspire you. Share your struggles and successes. Support breeds courage. Practical exercise. Plan your first week. Outline simple daily starting actions for the coming week. Schedule them and commit. Review progress at the end of each day. Visualizing success and challenges. Spend time imagining both success and obstacles. Prepare mentally for setbacks. This dual visualization builds resilience. Handling negative feedback. Criticism can be daunting at the start. Distinguish constructive feedback from negativity. Use feedback to improve, not to retreat. The importance of celebrating beginnings. Celebrate the act of starting itself. Acknowledging this milestone reinforces positive behavior. Daily affirmations to boost courage. Use affirmations such as, "I am brave enough to start." "Every step forward matters." "I grow stronger with each action." Repeat these regularly. Final encouragement for starters. Starting is the most courageous act you can take. Fear is natural but temporary. Action breaks its hold. Take your first step today. Your future self will thank you. Chapter 4. Micro moves greater than giant leaps. Big wins are made up of tiny choices nobody sees. When we think of success, we often imagine dramatic moments: the breakthrough deal, the viral post, the final sprint to the finish line. But behind every visible triumph lies a foundation of small, consistent actions. Micro moves, tiny, seemingly insignificant choices, accumulate over time and create powerful momentum. The power of small decisions. Choosing to wake up with your alarm instead of snoozing. Writing one paragraph when you don't feel inspired. Saying no to distractions that pull you off course. These micro moves don't make headlines, but they shape your character and your future. Why micro moves matter more than giant leaps. Giant leaps are often unsustainable and intimidating. They require energy, resources, and motivation that can quickly fade. Micro moves, however, are manageable and build confidence through repetition. Each small step rewires your brain, making progress natural and automatic. Real-life story: the early riser's journey. Consider Raj, who decided to start waking up 15 minutes earlier each day. At first it was tough, but those extra minutes became time for reflection, planning, and exercise. Over months, Raj's productivity soared, and he credited this small habit with transforming his life. Consistency over intensity. Consistency beats intensity every time. It's better to write 200 words daily than 2,000 words once a month. Sustainable habits lead to lasting change. Practical exercise. Identify your micro moves. What tiny actions align with your goals? List 3 micro moves you can commit to daily. Start today. The role of identity in micro moves. Your actions shape your identity. When you consistently make positive micro moves, you become someone who finishes what they start. Identity-based habits are more powerful than goal-based habits. Breaking down. Overwhelm. Big goals can feel paralyzing. Focusing on micro moves reduces overwhelm and builds momentum. Celebrate progress, not perfection. The science behind habit stacking. Habit stacking links new habits to existing ones. For example, after brushing your teeth, write one sentence. This method leverages existing routines to build new behaviors. Visualization. See your micro wins. Visualize your day filled with small successes. Feel the satisfaction of each completed micro move. Overcoming resistance with micro moves. Resistance often feels less daunting when tasks are broken into tiny pieces. Use micro moves to bypass procrastination and build momentum. Mindset shift. Progress is progress. Every step forward counts. No action is too small. Value your micro wins. The role of environment. Design your environment to support micro moves. Keep tools handy. Remove distractions. Create cues for action. Building momentum. Micro moves create a ripple effect. Small successes build confidence, which fuels bigger actions. Momentum is your greatest ally. Reflection. Your micro move journal. Track your daily micro moves. Note how they impact your motivation and progress. Adjust as needed. Celebrating the invisible work. Much of success is invisible to others. The early mornings, the quiet focus, the repeated small actions. Honor this work as the true foundation of achievement. The discipline of patience. Micro moves require patience. Trust the process. Growth takes time. Real life story. The sculptor's patience. Maria, a sculptor, spent years chiseling small details. Each tiny adjustment brought her closer to her vision. Her masterpiece was the result of countless micro moves. Final encouragement. Big wins start with small moves. Don't underestimate the power of daily discipline. Stack your micro moves and watch your dreams take shape. Micro moves in everyday life. Micro moves aren't just for big projects or lofty goals. They're the small choices you make every day that add up to a meaningful life. Choosing to drink an extra glass of water. Taking the stairs instead of the elevator. Reading one page of a book. Each of these tiny decisions supports your well-being and growth. The compound effect. The principle behind micro moves is called the compound effect. Just like money compounds with interest over time, small habits compound into remarkable change. The challenge is patience. Results are often invisible until the tipping point. But keep moving forward. Real-life story. The language learner's path. Amina was keen to learn a new language. She committed to learning 5 new words daily. At first, progress was slow and barely noticeable. Years later, she was fluent and confidently traveled the world. Her micro moves created a giant leap. How to identify your key. Micro moves. Focus on actions that align closely with your goals and values. Prioritize simplicity and consistency. Avoid overwhelming yourself with too many changes at once. The power of habit tracking. Tracking your micro moves increases awareness and accountability. Use journals, apps, or simple checklists. Celebrate streaks and milestones. Adjusting and adapting. Not all micro moves will stick. Experiment and refine your approach. Be flexible and forgiving. Mindset shift from results to process. Focus on the joy of the process rather than the pressure of results. Process-focused thinking sustains motivation and reduces burnout. The role of gratitude in micro-progress. Express gratitude for your small wins. Gratitude enhances positivity and reinforces habits. Building identity through micro moves. Each small action shapes your self-image. Become the person who consistently takes positive steps. Practical exercise. Design your micro move plan. Choose one big goal. Break it into daily micro moves. Plan your week accordingly. Overcoming plateaus. Progress isn't always linear. When you hit a plateau, Revisit your micro moves. Adjust intensity or variety to reignite momentum. The importance of reflection. Regularly reflect on your journey. Celebrate successes and learn from challenges. Reflection deepens commitment. The role of self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself on difficult days. Micro moves are about progress, not perfection. Self-compassion fuels resilience. Real-life story, the writer's consistency. Lena struggled with writer's block. She committed to writing one sentence daily. This tiny move broke her block and rekindled creativity. How micro moves support long-term goals. Micro moves build a foundation for sustainable success. They prevent burnout and maintain engagement. Long-term change is the sum of daily choices. Practical tools for micro moves. Use timers, alarms, and reminders. Create visual cues and checklists. Leverage technology to support habits. The importance of celebration. Recognize and celebrate your micro victories. This reinforces positive behavior. Final encouragement. Keep in mind, every significant advancement starts with small steps. Stay consistent. Trust the process. Your efforts will compound into extraordinary success. The ripple effect of micro moves. Micro moves don't just build habits. They create ripples that affect every area of your life. One small positive change can inspire confidence in other areas, leading to a cascade of improvements. For example, committing to a daily 5-minute meditation can increase your focus at work, improve relationships, and boost overall well-being. The power of micro moves lies in their ability to create momentum that spreads beyond the initial action. Real-life story, the healthy habit maker. Consider David, who struggled with his health for years. Instead of overhauling his life overnight, he started by adding 1 serving of vegetables to his dinner. That simple micro move became a gateway to more conscious eating, daily walks, and eventually a complete lifestyle transformation. David's story shows that change is often about sustainable, small decisions rather than dramatic overhauls. Micro moves in relationships. Small actions strengthen relationships just as much as big gestures. Taking the time to listen attentively, sending a thoughtful message, or expressing appreciation daily can deepen connections. Focusing on micro moves in communication builds trust and intimacy over time. Micro moves and personal growth. Personal growth is a lifelong journey made up of daily decisions. Reading a page of an inspiring book, journaling 1 sentence about gratitude, or practicing a new skill briefly every day leads to profound development. Micro moves make growth accessible and achievable. The danger of neglecting micro moves. Ignoring micro moves leaves you vulnerable to stagnation. Big goals seem distant and unmanageable without the groundwork of consistent small steps. Without micro moves, enthusiasm fades and progress stalls. Building a micro move mindset. To harness micro moves, cultivate a mindset focused on patience, persistence, and process. Celebrate incremental progress and understand that meaningful change takes time. Avoid comparison with others' rapid success. Honor your own pace. Creating micro-move habits that last. Start with habits that are easy to maintain. Consistency beats intensity. As confidence builds, gradually increase complexity or duration. Regularly reassess and adjust habits to fit evolving goals. the science of reward, and habit reinforcement. Rewarding micro moves strengthens habit formation. Choose rewards that support your goals and values. Celebrate the completion of your daily actions with something meaningful, like a moment of rest or a small treat. Micro moves as a tool against overwhelm. When facing large, daunting projects, micro moves break the process into manageable pieces. This approach reduces stress and encourages forward motion. By focusing on what you can do right now, you build momentum without burnout. Reflection exercise, your micro move impact. Take time to reflect on how your daily micro moves influence your life. Journal moments when small actions led to unexpected positive outcomes. Use these reflections to reinforce your commitment. Micro moves and long-term vision. Keep your long-term vision in mind, but honor the small steps required to get there. Trust that micro moves are the building blocks of your bigger dreams. Final encouragement. Embrace the power of micro moves. Be patient, stay consistent, and celebrate every small win. Remember, giant leaps are built on tiny, persistent steps. The commitment to daily progress. Commitment to daily micro moves is the foundation of sustained success. It means showing up for yourself every day, even when motivation is low or obstacles arise. This steady dedication builds discipline, rewires your brain, and transforms intentions into reality. The role of reflection and adjustment. Regularly reflect on your micro moves and their impact. Are they bringing you closer to your goals? Are they sustainable? Make adjustments as needed, always prioritizing consistency over intensity. Creating a supportive ecosystem. Build an environment that supports your micro moves. Surround yourself with people who encourage progress. Use tools and reminders to stay on track. An ecosystem aligned with your goals fosters resilience and momentum. Micro moves as a lifestyle. Adopting micro moves is not a temporary strategy. It's a lifestyle. It's the daily practice of valuing progress over perfection, action over hesitation. Through this lifestyle, you become the architect of your success. Story of the Gardener, the legacy of small actions. Consider the story of a gardener planting seeds. Each seed is small, often unnoticed. But over time, these seeds grow into a flourishing garden. Your micro moves are those seeds. Planted consistently and nurtured patiently, they will transform your life. Your next step. Today, choose one micro move to commit to. Write it down. Schedule it. Do it. Let your journey from thought to finish be fueled by the power of small, consistent steps. Closing encouragement. Remember, monumental change doesn't come from sudden leaps, but from the quiet power of micro moves. Each small action is a victory. Each day's effort compounds. Step by step, you will cross your finish line. Chapter 5. Why most people quit. The middle is messy, but it's where the magic happens. Beginning a new journey feels exciting. The vision is fresh, the motivation high. You're fueled by hope, ambition, and the thrill of possibility. But as you move beyond the initial surge, you enter the middle, the stretch where many stumble. The middle is often unglamorous, difficult, and confusing. It's where motivation dips and doubt creeps in. Why the middle is so hard. The middle is challenging because it demands sustained effort without immediate reward. You're too far in to quit without consequence, but too far from the finish line to see success clearly. Progress feels slow, sometimes invisible. Your enthusiasm from the start wanes, and the honeymoon phase fades. The illusion of overnight success. We often see others' success as sudden and effortless. Social media amplifies this illusion. But behind every success story lies a long, often messy middle. Understanding this helps set realistic expectations and prevents discouragement. Real-life story, the startup's journey. Lena launched a startup with passion and energy. The first few months were exhilarating. But then came the slow grind, pitching investors, refining products, managing setbacks. Many in her team wanted to quit, but Lena kept pushing, focused on the long game. Years later, her company thrived. Her story is a testament to endurance through the middle. Mental fatigue and burnout. Sustained effort without rest leads to fatigue. Burnout saps motivation and creativity. Recognizing signs of burnout is crucial to maintain long-term progress. Strategies to survive the middle. Break the middle into smaller milestones. Celebrate micro wins to stay motivated. Rest and recharge. Schedule breaks to avoid burnout. Seek support. Lean on mentors, peers, or communities. Revisit your why. Connect with your deeper purpose. Mindset. Shift. Embrace the messiness. Accept that the middle is inherently messy and uncertain. This acceptance reduces frustration. Focus on what you can control, your effort, attitude, and consistency. The role of discipline in the middle. When motivation fades, discipline sustains you. Discipline is a choice to keep going despite feelings. It builds stamina and resilience. Reflection. Your middle moments. Think about a time you felt stuck or discouraged in the middle of a goal. What helped you push through? What held you back? Write your reflections. Practical exercise. Milestone mapping. Map out your project or goal with clear milestones. Set rewards for reaching each. Use this map to guide and motivate you. Overcoming self-doubt. The middle is often accompanied by self-doubt. Challenge negative thoughts. Replace them with evidence of progress. Build your confidence step by step. Real-life story. The athlete's marathon. Mark trained for a marathon. Halfway through his training, he faced injuries and setbacks. Many friends suggested quitting. Mark pushed through, adjusting his training and mindset. Crossing the finish line was sweeter because of the struggle. The importance of flexibility. Plans change. Obstacles arise. Being flexible allows you to adapt without losing sight of your goal. Flexibility prevents discouragement when things don't go perfectly. The power of routine in the middle. Routines reduce decision fatigue and create stability. Establish daily habits that support your goals. Consistency over intensity remains key. The role of encouragement. Seek or provide encouragement during tough phases. Positive reinforcement uplifts morale and strengthens commitment. Managing expectations. Progress may be slow and nonlinear. Avoid comparing your journey to others. Trust your unique process. The importance of celebrating progress. Don't wait for the finish line to celebrate. Recognize effort, growth, and perseverance along the way. Reflection. Exercise your support system. Identify people or resources that support you in the middle. Plan ways to engage with them regularly. The final push. The middle tests your commitment and character. Push through with patience and grit. Remember, the hardest miles often lead to the most rewarding views. Closing encouragement. Quitting is common. Finishing is rare and powerful. Embrace the messy middle as the crucible where you grow stronger. Keep going. Your finish line awaits. Understanding emotional fatigue. One of the main reasons people quit is emotional exhaustion. When progress seems invisible and the path is unclear, frustration builds. Feelings of discouragement, doubt, and overwhelm intensify. Emotional fatigue is real and can erode even the strongest motivation. Recognizing these feelings is crucial to addressing them before they lead to quitting. Strategies to combat emotional fatigue. Break tasks into smaller, achievable goals. Accomplishing micro-tasks replenishes energy and confidence. Practice self-care. Prioritize sleep, nutrition, and physical activity. Engage in mindfulness. Meditation and breathing exercises reduce stress. Connect with others. Sharing your struggles provides relief and perspective. The role of purpose in persistence. Purpose anchors you when motivation falters. Reconnect with the reasons you started. Remind yourself of the impact your goals will have on you and others. Purpose fuels resilience and drives you forward through challenges. Real life story. The teacher's dedication. Sarah, a teacher, faced burnout during her first year. The workload was overwhelming, and the impact felt minimal. Yet, recalling why she chose teaching, to inspire children, reinforced her commitment. She adapted her approach and found joy in small victories. Sarah's purpose sustained her through the hardest times. Mindset shift. Reframing setbacks. Setbacks are not failures but feedback. They offer information to adjust your strategy. Viewing setbacks as learning experiences prevents discouragement. Building a growth mindset. A growth mindset embraces challenges as opportunities. It focuses on effort and learning rather than innate talent. Cultivating this mindset increases perseverance and satisfaction. Practical exercise. Reframe your setbacks. Identify a recent setback. Write down what you learnt and how you will adjust. Use this as a guide to keep moving forward. The importance of celebrating small wins. Acknowledging progress, no matter how small, boosts morale. Celebrate completed tasks, milestones, and efforts. Positive reinforcement encourages continued action. Managing external pressures. Expectations from others can add pressure. Learn to set boundaries and focus on your own path. Protect your energy to maintain persistence. The power of rituals. Daily rituals create stability and reduce decision fatigue. Examples include morning planning, journaling, or exercise. Rituals anchor you during uncertain times. Accountability and community. Sharing your goals with others increases commitment. Join groups or find partners who support your journey. Community provides motivation and reduces isolation. Real life story. The entrepreneur's resilience. James faced multiple rejections launching his business. Each setback tempted him to quit. With support from mentors and persistence, he refined his approach. Eventually, his business flourished. James's resilience is a testament to enduring the middle. Reflection. Your persistence inventory. Assess your current persistence level. What strengthens it? What weakens it? Plan actions to bolster your endurance. The role of optimism. Optimism sustains hope during tough phases. Practice positive visualization and affirmations. Optimism is a skill to be cultivated. Energy management. Maintain physical and mental energy through rest and nutrition. Avoid burnout by pacing yourself. Energy fuels persistence. Managing distractions. Identify distractions that sap your focus. Create environments conducive to sustained effort. Limit multitasking and interruptions. The role of self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Recognize that struggle is part of growth. Practice forgiveness and encouragement. The long view. Keep a long-term perspective. Remember why you started and envision the finish. Patience and commitment are key. Final encouragement. Most quit because they lose sight of the middle's role in success. Embrace the struggle, and you build strength and character. Your persistence today defines your achievement tomorrow. Developing resilience through challenges. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from difficulties. It's a muscle strengthened through experience. Each challenge you face and overcome builds your capacity to endure. Resilience turns obstacles into opportunities for growth. Techniques to build resilience. Maintain a positive mindset. Focus on solutions, not problems. Develop problem-solving skills. Approach challenges methodically. Build a support network. Surround yourself with encouraging people. Practice self-care. Physical and emotional well-being fuels resilience. Real-life story. The author's persistence. Linda faced rejection from publishers multiple times. Instead of giving up, she revised her manuscript and kept submitting. Her persistence paid off when her book became a bestseller. Linda's journey shows how resilience leads to eventual success. The importance of flexibility. Being rigid can lead to frustration and quitting. Flexibility allows you to adjust your approach without abandoning your goal. Adaptation keeps you moving forward when circumstances change. Celebrating the journey. Find joy in the process, not just the outcome. Celebrating small wins sustains motivation. Gratitude for progress creates positive momentum. Handling negative self-talk. Negative thoughts can sap energy and drive. Recognize and challenge these thoughts. Replace them with affirmations of capability and progress. Creating a vision board. Visual reminders of your goals keep you focused and inspired. Include images, quotes, and milestones. Place your vision board where you see it daily. The role of rest and recovery. Avoid burnout by scheduling rest. Quality sleep, breaks, and downtime rejuvenate your mind and body. Practical exercise. Plan a recovery day. Schedule a day for rest and reflection. Use it to recharge and refocus. Using failure as fuel. Shift your perspective on failure. See it as information and motivation to improve. The power of habit. Consistent habits reduce reliance on motivation. Build habits that support your persistence. Reflection. Your commitment statement. Write a statement reaffirming your commitment to your goals. Refer to it regularly. Final encouragement. Quitting is easy. Persistence is powerful. Your determination will carry you through. Every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to success. Chapter 6. The Magic of Momentum. Once you get going, life starts to meet you halfway. Momentum is the hidden force that turns small actions into unstoppable progress. It is the power that makes effort feel easier, motivation last longer, and results multiply. Understanding and harnessing momentum is key to moving from thought to finish. The science of momentum. Momentum builds when repeated actions create energy and confidence. Neurologically, momentum strengthens neural pathways, making behaviors automatic. Physically, momentum reduces the effort needed to continue. Psychologically, momentum boosts self-efficacy, your belief in your ability to succeed. Why momentum matters. Without momentum, starting and sustaining progress feels like pushing a heavy boulder uphill. With momentum, actions flow more smoothly. Tasks become less daunting. Success feels within reach. Real-life story, the runner's flow. Jessica struggled to stick with running. Each start was challenging, and she often quit early. One day, she committed to running just 10 minutes. After several days, her body adapted, and running became easier. Momentum took over. Soon, she was running miles with joy. Building momentum. Momentum doesn't appear by chance. It requires deliberate action. Starting is the hardest part, but persistence creates momentum. Small, consistent actions fuel it. Practical exercise. The momentum starter. Choose a simple daily action aligned with your goal. Commit to it for 7 days. Notice how starting becomes easier each day. Maintaining momentum. Celebrate small wins. Track progress visibly. Avoid breaks that stall momentum. Mindset shift from effort to flow. As momentum builds, effort feels lighter. Shift your mindset to enjoy the process. Flow state emerges when focus deepens and distractions fade. Overcoming setbacks. Momentum can falter. When it does, don't despair. Restart with a small action. Momentum can be regained. The role of energy. Physical and emotional energy support momentum. Prioritize rest, nutrition, and stress management. The ripple effect. Momentum in one area can spill over to others. Success breeds success. Confidence grows exponentially. Reflection. Your momentum map. Identify areas where you feel momentum. Plan actions to expand it. Final encouragement. Momentum serves as your invaluable tool. Start small, stay consistent, and let momentum carry you forward. Your finish line is closer than you think. The role of consistency in building momentum. Consistency is the engine that powers momentum. Even small, repeated actions compound over time to create powerful forward motion. It's better to do a little every day than a lot once in a while. This steady rhythm builds habits and neural pathways that sustain progress. How momentum transforms challenges. When momentum is strong, obstacles feel less intimidating. Your brain anticipates success, boosting confidence. Even when setbacks occur, momentum helps you recover quickly. Momentum creates a psychological cushion that absorbs shocks and keeps you moving. Real-life story. The student's momentum. Michael struggled with studying. He often procrastinated and felt overwhelmed. By dedicating 15 minutes daily to focused study, he gradually built momentum. Soon, studying became easier and more natural. His grades improved, and so did his confidence. Practical tip: tracking momentum. Use journals or apps to track daily progress. Visual feedback reinforces momentum. Celebrate streaks and milestones. The danger of breaking momentum. Long breaks or inconsistencies can stall momentum. Avoid unnecessary interruptions. If momentum falters, restart with small actions immediately. Mindset: trust the process. Trust that consistent effort, even when slow, leads to results. Patience and persistence create lasting momentum. Momentum and motivation. Momentum fuels motivation, and motivation fuels momentum. This positive feedback loop sustains you during tough times. The power of early wins. Early successes boost momentum. Set achievable short-term goals. Use early wins to build confidence and energy. Building momentum in teams. Momentum is contagious. Surround yourself with motivated, action-oriented people. Collective momentum accelerates progress. Reflection: where is your momentum? Identify areas in life where momentum exists. Plan how to build momentum in areas lacking it. Final thought: momentum transforms effort from burden to flow. Harness this magic by taking consistent, deliberate action. Your journey from thought to finish thrives on momentum. Creating momentum through habit. Habits are the foundation of momentum. When an action becomes habitual, it requires less mental energy. You move from conscious effort to automatic behavior. This shift frees mental resources for creativity and problem solving. Building strong habits accelerates momentum. Overcoming plateaus. Momentum can slow or plateau, causing frustration. Plateaus are natural phases in any growth process. Use them to reassess and adjust strategies. Try varying your approach or adding new challenges. Real-life story: the musician's plateau. Ella practiced piano daily. After months, her progress seemed to stall. Instead of quitting, she experimented with new pieces and techniques. This renewed her enthusiasm and broke through the plateau. Momentum resumed, stronger than before. The importance of self-compassion. Being kind to yourself sustains momentum. Harsh self-criticism can drain motivation. Treat setbacks as part of learning. Celebrate effort as much as outcome. Energy management for momentum. Physical energy fuels your ability to maintain momentum. Prioritize rest, nutrition, and exercise. Avoid burnout by pacing yourself. Mindfulness and momentum. Mindfulness enhances focus and reduces stress. Present moment awareness helps maintain consistent action. Leveraging technology. Use apps and tools to monitor progress. Reminders, trackers, and alarms support consistency. Visualization and affirmations. Visualize continued progress and success. Use affirmations to build confidence and focus. The role of environment. Design spaces that support habits and reduce distractions. A conducive environment nurtures momentum. Reflection: your momentum practices. Identify habits that support your momentum. Plan to strengthen or add new ones. Final encouragement. Momentum is a dynamic, powerful force. Nurture it with consistent action, self-care, and adaptability. With momentum on your side, finishing is inevitable. Chapter 7. Your mind is lying to you. Self-doubt is loudest right before your breakthrough. Our minds are powerful storytellers, but sometimes they spin stories that hold us back, stories filled with doubt, fear, and limitation. These stories convince us that we're not ready, not capable, or that it's too late. Understanding and challenging these mental lies is crucial to moving from thought to finish. The nature of self-doubt. Self-doubt is a universal experience. It often peaks just before a major breakthrough or change. Self-doubt can be overwhelming, causing your confidence and clarity to waver. But it is not the truth. It is a protective mechanism designed to keep you safe from risk and failure. Common lies. Your mind tells you. You're not ready. Someone else has already done it better. You don't have the skills. It's too late to start. You'll never succeed. These thoughts sound convincing, but are often rooted in fear and insecurity. Why your mind lies. Your brain's primary job is survival, not happiness or success. It errs on the side of caution, often at the expense of opportunity. By generating doubt and fear, it tries to keep you in familiar territory. Real-life story. The late bloomer's triumph. Michael wanted to start a career in art in his 40s. His mind told him he was too old, too inexperienced. Ignoring those voices, he enrolled in classes and practiced daily. Years later, his work was exhibited and celebrated. Michael's breakthrough came when he refused to believe the lies. The power of awareness. Recognizing these mental lies is the first step to overcoming them. Awareness creates distance between you and your thoughts. You realize that thoughts are not facts. Techniques to challenge mental lies. Question the evidence. What proof do you have that this thought is true? Reframe the thought. Turn negative statements into empowering questions or affirmations. Visualize success. Focus on evidence of your ability and past wins. Mindset shift. From victim to victor. Choose to see yourself as the author of your story. You control your response to thoughts. You can choose belief over doubt. Practical exercise. Thought journaling. Write down limiting thoughts as they arise. Challenge and reframe them in writing. Track your progress in shifting your mindset. The role of support. Share your struggles with trusted friends or mentors. External perspectives can challenge your inner critic. Visualization. Overcoming fear. Visualize yourself succeeding despite doubt. Feel the emotions of confidence and accomplishment. The importance of persistence. Mental lies may return repeatedly. Persistence in challenging them builds mental strength. Affirmations to combat doubt. Use daily affirmations such as, I am capable of growth. I trust my journey. I am enough. Reflection. Your mental narrative. What lies does your mind tell you? How can you respond with truth and compassion? Write your answers. Final encouragement. Your mind's lies are not your reality. You have the power to rewrite your story. Believe bigger than your doubts. Step boldly toward your finish. Recognizing the saboteur within. Your inner critic can be subtle or loud. It may disguise itself as caution, concern, or practicality. Often, it speaks in a familiar voice, making it hard to recognize as harmful. Learning to identify these sabotaging thoughts is essential. They are automatic patterns, not truths. The habit loop of negative thinking. Negative thoughts follow a pattern: trigger, thought, emotion, reaction. For example, a challenging task, trigger, sparks the thought, "I can't do this," leading to anxiety, emotion, and avoidance, reaction. Breaking this loop requires conscious awareness and intervention. Techniques to interrupt negative patterns. Mindfulness. Notice thoughts without judgment. Cognitive reframing. Replace negative thoughts with balanced ones. Distraction. Engage in a positive activity to shift focus. Physical activity. Movement reduces stress and improves mindset. Real-life story. The athlete's mindset shift. Alex struggled with self-doubt during training. Each setback triggered thoughts of failure. With coaching, Alex learned to catch and reframe these thoughts. His performance improved as his mindset strengthened. The role of self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when doubts arise. Self-criticism fuels negativity. Practice treating yourself as you would a friend. Building mental resilience. Mental resilience is strengthened by repeatedly challenging negative beliefs. It grows through small victories and persistence. Visualization and affirmations. Visualizing success rewires your brain for positive outcomes. Affirmations anchor your belief in your abilities. Practical exercise, thought replacement. Create a list of common negative thoughts. Write empowering alternatives. Practice replacing thoughts daily. Seeking professional support. Sometimes, deep-seated beliefs require external help. Therapists and coaches can guide mindset shifts. The importance of community. Surround yourself with supportive people who uplift you. Positive social environments buffer against negative self-talk. Reflection. Your inner dialogue. Track your inner dialogue over a week. Notice patterns and triggers. Plan strategies to challenge negativity. Final encouragement. Your mind can be your greatest ally or fiercest foe. Choose to train it toward truth and empowerment. Your breakthrough lies beyond the noise of doubt. Cultivating a growth mindset. A growth mindset sees challenges as opportunities rather than threats. It embraces effort as a path to mastery. With this mindset, mistakes become lessons, not failures. Cultivating this outlook rewires your brain to welcome growth. The science behind mindset change. Research shows that the brain can rewire itself through neuroplasticity. By consciously choosing positive thoughts and behaviors, you strengthen new neural pathways. This means your mindset is not fixed. It can evolve with practice. Daily practices to strengthen your mindset. Gratitude. Journaling. Focus on positives to build optimism. Meditation. Develop mindfulness and emotional regulation. Affirmations. Reinforce empowering beliefs. Goal visualization. Create mental images of success and process. Real-life story. The entrepreneur's transformation. Sophie faced overwhelming doubt launching her startup. She shifted her mindset through coaching and self-practice. By embracing challenges and reframing failures, she built confidence and momentum. Her business thrived as her mindset evolved. The role of emotional intelligence. Understanding and managing emotions improves decision-making and resilience. Emotional intelligence helps you navigate doubt and fear effectively. Overcoming the imposter syndrome. Many talented people struggle with feelings of fraudulence. Recognize imposter syndrome as a common experience. Counter it with evidence of your skills and accomplishments. Practical exercise. Affirm your strengths. Write down your skills, achievements, and positive qualities. Review this list regularly to boost self-belief. The power of visualization and affirmations. Visualize yourself succeeding despite doubts. Use affirmations like, I am capable and prepared. I grow stronger every day. I deserve success. Building support networks. Connect with mentors, peers, or groups that reinforce positive mindsets. Share challenges and strategies. Community support accelerates mindset growth. Reflection. Your mindset journal. Keep a journal to track thoughts, feelings, and responses. Identify progress and areas for growth. Final encouragement. Your mind is a powerful tool. Train it with compassion, persistence, and positivity. The lies it tells are only as strong as the truth you believe. You are capable beyond doubt. Chapter 8. Crossing the finish line. Done is better than perfect. There's a profound truth wrapped in this simple phrase. For many, the hardest part of any journey isn't starting, it's finishing. The finish line represents more than just the completion of a task. It marks a transformation. It's the moment you prove to yourself that you are capable, that you don't just dream, you deliver. Why finishing feels so hard. Several reasons make finishing difficult. Perfectionism. The trap of wanting your work to be flawless before releasing it can cause endless delays. Fear of judgment. Worrying about how others will perceive your work can lead to avoidance. Loss of motivation. After the initial excitement fades, maintaining energy to push through is challenging. Overwhelm. The sheer amount of effort to wrap up a project can feel daunting. Recognizing these barriers is the first step toward overcoming them. The myth of perfectionism. Perfectionism masquerades as a quest for quality, but it often masks fear of failure, criticism, or success. Waiting for perfect conditions or the perfect version of your work is a form of procrastination. Done is better than perfect. Finishing imperfectly opens the door to growth, feedback, and momentum. How perfectionism stops progress. Perfectionism often leads to endless tweaking. You revise endlessly, never feeling it's ready. Avoidance. Fear of imperfection stops you from sharing your work. Decreased creativity. The pressure to be perfect stifles experimentation. By understanding perfectionism's impact, you can begin to loosen its grip. Real-life story. The designer's dilemma. Sophia spent months designing a logo. She redrew it dozens of times, fearing it wasn't perfect. The delay frustrated her clients and stalled the project. When she finally released the logo, imperfect but effective, it received praise and propelled her career. Sophia's story reminds us that progress beats perfection every time. The psychology of completion. Your brain craves closure. Unfinished tasks cause mental tension and distraction, known as the Zeigarnik effect. Completing tasks provides relief, satisfaction, and a sense of accomplishment. Finishing projects frees mental space for new ideas. Why finishing changes your identity. Completing a project shifts your self-perception. You move from being a starter to a finisher. This identity empowers you to take on new challenges with confidence. Every finish line crossed reinforces your belief in your abilities. The emotional journey to the finish line. Approaching the finish line often brings mixed emotions. Relief that the hard work is nearly over. Anxiety about the final quality and reception. Excitement for what's next. Acknowledging these feelings helps you stay grounded and focused. Practical exercise. Visualizing your finish. Close your eyes and imagine your project completed. Feel the pride, relief, and joy of accomplishment. Hold on to that feeling as motivation to push forward. The danger of delayed finishing. Delaying completion can lead to missed opportunities to learn and grow, accumulated stress from looming unfinished work, loss of momentum and motivation. Make finishing a priority to avoid these pitfalls. Setting realistic standards. High standards are important, but unrealistic expectations hinder completion. Set achievable goals and accept good enough when appropriate. Remember, you can always improve later. Harnessing deadlines to finish. Deadlines create a sense of urgency and focus that helps overcome procrastination. Whether self-imposed or external, deadlines push you to prioritize and act. Set realistic but firm deadlines for each phase of your project. Use accountability partners or public commitments to reinforce them. Overcoming fear of judgment. Fear of criticism or rejection can stop you from finishing. Remember, you cannot control others' opinions. Focus on your purpose and the value your work brings. Share your creations courageously. The right audience will appreciate them. The power of accountability. Accountability increases commitment to finishing. Share your goals with mentors, friends, or support groups. Regular check-ins help maintain momentum and motivation. Real-life story. The blogger's journey. Mia struggled to finish her blog posts, fearing negative feedback. She joined a writers' group for support and accountability. With encouragement, she completed her first series of posts, gaining confidence and readers. Maya's experience highlights the importance of community in finishing. Celebrating completion. Acknowledge your accomplishments, no matter how small. Celebrate finishing to reinforce positive feelings and motivation. Use rituals like sharing your success, treating yourself, or reflecting on your journey. Handling post-finish challenges. Finishing often brings new responsibilities, maintenance, promotion, or iteration. Prepare mentally for this transition. View it as part of ongoing growth rather than an endpoint. Reflection. What does finishing unlock for you? Consider the opportunities, confidence, and growth that come from completion. Write down your reflections to inspire continued progress. Practical tip. Break final tasks into manageable steps. Identify the last few actions needed to finish. Focus on completing one task at a time to avoid overwhelm. The role of imperfection in innovation. Many breakthroughs come from imperfect work released early. Iteration and feedback drive improvement. Don't wait for perfection to contribute value. Mindset shift. Embrace the finisher identity. See yourself as someone who completes goals. This identity shift influences your habits and decisions. The legacy of finishing. Finishing builds a track record of success. It inspires others and creates momentum for future achievements. Your legacy is built one completed project at a time. Final encouragement. The finish line is within reach. Push past doubt, fear, and perfectionism. Celebrate your journey and the powerful identity of a finisher. You've earned this moment. Managing the fear of success. Sometimes, fear of success can be as paralyzing as fear of failure. Success brings change, new responsibilities, expectations, and visibility. It can create anxiety about living up to your achievements. Recognize this fear and reframe success as an opportunity for growth, not pressure. Building confidence through completion. Every project finished boosts your confidence. Confidence compounds with each success, making future finishes easier. Reflect on your past accomplishments to remind yourself of your capability. Practical exercise. Create a completion ritual. Design a personal ritual to mark the end of each project. It could be a celebration, a journal entry, or sharing your work. This ritual reinforces the habit of finishing. Dealing with perfectionism's final hold. Perfectionism often tightens its grip near completion. Be aware of last-minute doubts or endless tweaking. Set clear limits on revisions and trust your process. The importance of feedback. Seeking feedback after finishing helps you grow. Constructive criticism guides improvement. Approach feedback with an open mind and willingness to learn. Real-life story. The inventor's persistence. Carlos spent years refining his invention. When he finally released it, he received criticism. Instead of retreating, he used feedback to improve and succeeded commercially. Carlos's story shows the value of finishing despite imperfection. The role of reflection. After finishing, reflect on your journey. What worked? What didn't? What lessons can you apply next time? Reflection deepens learning and prepares you for future success. The ongoing journey. Finishing one project is not the end, but a step in your ongoing journey. Each finish opens doors to new possibilities. Embrace continuous growth and lifelong learning. Final affirmations. I am a finisher. Completion fuels my confidence. I embrace imperfection and growth. Repeat these to cultivate a finishing mindset. Closing encouragement. Crossing the finish line transforms your story. Celebrate your courage and discipline. You are capable of finishing anything you start. Your journey from thought to finish is your greatest achievement. Chapter 9. The Ripple Effect of Finishing. One finished thing can change your entire identity. Finishing isn't just about completing a task. It's about transformation. The shift in who you are and how you see yourself. Each time you finish, you rewrite your story. You move from I tried to I did. The power of completion. Completion brings clarity. It shows you what you're capable of. It builds self-trust and inner confidence. Finishing fuels motivation for future endeavors. The identity shift. When you finish, you become a finisher. This identity reshapes your habits, decisions, and mindset. You begin to see challenges as opportunities, not threats. Real-life story. The student who graduated. Consider John, who struggled with self-doubt throughout school. Each course he completed boosted his confidence. Graduating transformed his self-image from doubtful to capable. John's story illustrates how finishing changes who you are. The ripple effect on relationships. Your finishing inspires those around you. Family, friends, colleagues notice your discipline. Your example motivates them to pursue their own goals. The impact on community. When one person finishes, communities benefit. Projects completed create jobs, solutions, and opportunities. Your finish has a wider influence than you may realize. Reflection. Your ripple effect. Who has your finishing inspired? Who could you inspire next? Write down your thoughts. The legacy of finishing. Finishing builds a legacy, a trail for others to follow. Your completed work becomes part of your story and impact. Practical exercise. Visualize your legacy. Imagine the positive impact your finished projects could have. Use this vision to fuel your commitment. Mindset. Finish for more than yourself. Finishing is an act of service to yourself and others. Your persistence empowers and uplifts. Every finish creates ripples far beyond what you see. Your journey from thought to finish is a gift to the world. Finishing builds momentum for new beginnings. Each completed project serves as a launchpad for the next. Finishing builds momentum that carries you into new challenges with greater confidence. You become a cycle of continuous growth and achievement. The compounding effect of success. Success compounds like interest in a bank account. One finish leads to another, creating exponential progress. Momentum grows stronger as your identity as a finisher solidifies. Real-life story. The entrepreneur's chain reaction. After launching her first business, Maya's confidence soared. She used her success to start a second venture, and then a third. Each finish made starting anew easier. Her story highlights how finishing fuels ongoing success. The power of accountability in multiplying impact. Sharing your successes encourages others to start and finish. Accountability networks multiply the ripple effect of finishing. Together, progress accelerates. Finishing and self-belief. Belief in yourself deepens with every project you complete. Self-trust replaces doubt and hesitation. This internal shift changes how you approach future goals. Overcoming fear of starting again. Fear of new beginnings fades as finishing becomes habitual. You know you can follow through, no matter the challenge. The importance of celebrating collective finishes. Celebrate not just your finishes, but those of your community. Collective celebration builds shared momentum and inspiration. Reflection. Your network's ripple. Consider how your finishing impacts your social and professional circles. How can you nurture this positive influence? The role of mentorship. Finishing enables you to mentor others. Sharing your journey helps others navigate their own paths. Mentorship amplifies the ripple effect exponentially. Visualization. Exercise passing the torch. Visualize yourself inspiring and supporting others to finish. Feel the power of this shared momentum. Mindset. You are part of something bigger. Your finishing contributes to a larger movement of progress and growth. You are connected to a community of finishers. Your finish is a spark lighting the way for many. Keep finishing for yourself and those who follow. The lasting legacy of finishing. What you finish today creates a legacy tomorrow. Your work, your commitments, your follow-through. These build the foundation others will stand on. Every completed goal adds to a legacy of resilience, courage, and achievement, inspiring future generations. Your finishing can inspire family, friends, colleagues, even strangers. It sends a message. If they can do it, so can I. This ripple of inspiration empowers others to believe, start, and finish. Real-life story: the teacher's impact. Maria dedicated herself to finishing every project, no matter the challenge. Her perseverance inspired her students to pursue their own goals. Years later, many credited Maria's example for their success. Her finishing created a legacy of empowerment, embracing the role of a finisher. Finishing is more than a skill, it's a responsibility. By finishing, you model discipline and integrity. You become a beacon of possibility in a world full of unfinished dreams. The power of commitment. Commit to finishing, not just sometimes, but consistently. This commitment transforms your life and those around you. Reflection. Your finishing legacy. What legacy do you want to leave? How can your finishing today shape tomorrow? Write your vision. The continuous journey. Finishing one chapter is the beginning of another. Celebrate your journey and prepare for new challenges with confidence. Gratitude for the journey. Express gratitude for your growth, effort, and the lessons learned. Gratitude fuels motivation and joy. Practical exercise. Create your finisher's manifesto. Write a personal manifesto, committing to finish what you start. Include your values, goals, and the impact you wish to make. Review it regularly. Final encouragement. The path from thought to finish is transformative. Each finish changes who you are and the world around you. Embrace the power of finishing. Be the person who starts, perseveres, and completes. Your legacy begins with the next step. Thank you for journeying through this audiobook, from thought to finish. Outro. You've journeyed through the full path, from the first spark of thought to the triumph of finishing. You've learned that ideas alone are not enough, that courage, discipline, and persistence turn dreams into reality. You now hold the blueprint to overcome doubt, break through fear, and build unstoppable momentum. But knowledge without action is still just potential. So here's your final invitation. Take one small step today, a move toward your finish line. It doesn't need to be perfect or grand. It just needs to be forward. Because the power to change your story, your life, and your legacy is already within you. You were never meant to just think about your dreams. You were meant to finish them. The path won't always be easy. It will test you. But every step you take, no matter how small, is progress. And progress, consistent, deliberate progress, is what leads to transformation. So go on, start. Keep moving, finish. Your journey from thought to finish is your greatest gift. Thank you for choosing to take this step. Your story is waiting. And it's time to write the ending you deserve. You've arrived at the end of this journey, or rather the beginning of the next. You've walked with your thoughts, stood face to face with doubt, wrestled with hesitation, and learned what it truly means to follow through. From that first spark of inspiration to the quiet, persistent push of momentum, you now know that finishing is not just about completing a task. It's about stepping into who you really are. Every step you've taken through these chapters was about more than productivity. It was about power, your power. The power to silence the noise, to shift from someday to today, to do the work even when it's invisible, to start small, stay steady, and build something meaningful, one finish at a time. Finishing is freedom. It's proof that your voice matters, that your effort matters, that you matter. And while the world may celebrate the loud starters, the bold ideas, the flashy launches, it's the finishers who leave legacies. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. You don't have to be perfect to be worthy. You just have to keep showing up and finish. So pause here, but don't stop. Take a breath, then take a step. Let this be the last time you say, almost. Let this be the moment you shift from potential to proof. You're not waiting anymore. You're not wondering if you can. You've made it this far, and now you finish. From thought to finish, let the world see what you're capable of, for the ones who dared to finish. Thank you for walking this journey with me, not just as a listener, but as someone who chose to pause, reflect, and recommit to something deeper, the discipline of completion. From thought to finish was never just a title. It was a call to act, to rise, to become. This audiobook was written for the ones who have notebooks filled with dreams but struggle to see them through. It was written for those who keep starting over, unsure if they'll ever cross the line. It was written for the achiever, the overthinker, the silent visionary, the one who knows they were meant for more, but just needed a nudge, a guide, a voice saying, "You've got this. Keep going. You can finish." And now you know you don't need permission. You don't need perfect timing, perfect tools, or perfect conditions. You only need one decision, and that decision changes everything. Acknowledgements. To the finishers, both loud and quiet, who show up every day, even when it's inconvenient, even when no one's watching. You are the heartbeat of progress. To every person who listened with intent, who wrote down that one line that stuck, who paused this audiobook and took action, thank you. You are why this message matters. To the thinkers turned doers, this was for you. Additional resources and support. If this audiobook resonated with you, revisit the chapters. Repetition builds mastery. Share it with someone who keeps almost finishing. Be their catalyst. Let this be the start of a new chapter, one where you finish more than you fantasize, where your follow-through becomes your legacy, and finally, you don't need to move fast. You just need to move forward. Because finishers change things. Finishers change themselves. Finishers change others. Finishers change the world. So now, go write your ending. Finish what you started. Then start again. Because you don't just have thoughts anymore. You have momentum. You have discipline. You have proof. You finish. And that changes everything. Please like and subscribe for more inspirational, relatable content.